Hey there. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you're there? Or maybe you've blanked on a name you've known for years, and it's driving you nuts, trying to pull it out of thin air. If that's happened to you, don't worry. You're not alone. After 60, those little memory hiccups can sneak up on us. And sometimes it feels like our brain's playing hide and seek when we need it most. But here's the good news. You don't have to just sit there and let it slip away. There are simple, fun ways to keep your mind sharp, and they don't involve boring worksheets or endless puzzles. In fact, one of the best tricks might just be something you already love, like humming a tune. Today, we're diving into 5 memory boosters, inspired by the legendary Tony Bennett, who was still crooning and crystal clear well into his 90s. Tony didn't just leave his heart in San Francisco, he kept his brain firing on all cylinders, and a lot of it had to do with how he lived, especially with music. We're going to walk through 5 easy, actionable ways you can use his tricks, starting with singing, to boost your memory and feel sharper every day. Whether you want to remember where you parked the car or keep up with the grandkids' stories, these tips are here to help. So let's get going and see how a little melody can make a big difference. First off, let's talk about the magic of singing. Something Tony Bennett made look effortless even in his later years. You've probably caught yourself humming an old song without even thinking, right? Well, science backs this up. Singing doesn't just lift your spirits, it lights up your brain too. When you sing, you're working memory, focus, and even language skills all at once. It's like a workout without the sweat. Tony was still belting out "I Left My Heart in San Francisco" in his 90s, spot on with every word. And it wasn't just talent keeping him there. Try this. Pick a song you love, maybe something from the 60s or an old hymn, and sing it out loud a few times a week. Don't worry if you're off-key. It's not about impressing anyone. My pal Ed started doing this with Sweet Caroline in the shower, and he swears he's quicker with names now. It's simple, it's free, and it's a little piece of Tony's secret sauce for staying sharp. Now, flowing right from that, there's another trick Tony leaned on that's just as easy. Staying curious every day. You didn't see him slowing down mentally even at 95, and it's because he kept his mind buzzing with new things. Let's dig into that next, because it's a small habit that can keep your brain from getting rusty. So you've got singing in your back pocket, Tony Bennett's little gift to keep your brain humming along, but there's more to his story than just a good tune, and that brings us to the next booster, staying curious every day. You know, Tony wasn't the type to let his mind sit still, even in his 90s. He was painting, chatting about jazz, and soaking up whatever caught his eye. That curiosity kept him sharp, and it's something you can tap into too. After 60, it's easy to settle into a routine. Same coffee, same TV shows, same old chats, but that's when your brain starts to coast. Instead, shake it up a bit. Try something new, even if it's small, like reading about a bird you saw outside or asking a friend how they make that soup you love. I started doing this after forgetting my neighbor's dog's name one too many times. I picked up a library book on old radio shows, and next thing I knew, I was recalling details I hadn't thought about in years. It's not about becoming a trivia champ, it's about keeping those mental gears turning. Tony stayed young up here by never stopping the wonder, and you can too. Now, flowing right from that idea of keeping your mind active, let's talk about another piece of Tony's magic. Connecting with people. You've seen those clips of him on stage, right? Even late in life, he had this warmth, this way of linking up with the crowd that kept him present and quick. After 60, it's tempting to pull back. Maybe the kids are busy or friends aren't around as much, but staying social is like fuel for your memory. It's not about big parties, it's about real moments. Call a buddy to swap stories, or sit with your grandkid and ask about their day. When you talk, listen, and laugh, your brain's working hard to keep up. And that's the trick. My cousin Marie started a little coffee chat with her neighbor every Tuesday, just catching up, and she told me, "I'm remembering birthdays again. It's like my head's waking up." Tony thrived on those connections. And they didn't just keep him happy, they kept him sharp. So pick up the phone or wave someone over. It's a simple move with a big payoff. Both of these, staying curious and connecting, fit right into Tony's playbook. They're easy, they're fun, and they keep your mind from slipping into neutral. But there's one more booster he leaned on that ties it all together, especially when life gets busy or tough. It's about giving your brain a break the right way. And it's something Tony did without even thinking twice. So, you're singing, staying curious, and connecting with folks. Your brain's already getting a solid workout from those Tony Bennett-inspired moves. But there's one more piece to this puzzle, and it's something Tony did so naturally it almost flew under the radar, giving your mind a rest the smart way. You'd see him perform these amazing shows in his 90s, hitting every note, remembering every lyric, and you might think, he's always on. But Tony knew how to step back too. He'd talk about taking quiet moments, maybe sitting with a cup of tea or just breathing deep between rehearsals. And that downtime wasn't laziness, it was gold for his memory. After 60, we sometimes push ourselves to keep going, rushing through the day, worrying about forgetting things, but your brain needs a breather to lock in what matters. Try this. Set aside 10 minutes a day to just sit still. No phone, no TV. Maybe listen to the birds or close your eyes and let your thoughts settle. I started doing this after misplacing my keys 3 times in a week, and I swear it's like my head got a reset button. Tony's long, sharp life shows us rest isn't a giving up. It's recharging, and it keeps you ready for the next song. Now, let's tie this all together, because you've got a whole toolbox here. Singing wakes up your brain with every note. Curiosity keeps it hungry for more. Connecting with people lights up those memory pathways. And a little rest makes sure it all sticks. That's how Tony Bennett stayed so quick and clear into his 90s. He didn't just coast on talent, he lived these habits. And they added up to a mind that wouldn't quit. You can do this too. No big fuss, just small steps that fit your day. Maybe tomorrow you hum "Fly Me to the Moon" while the coffee brews, or you ask your neighbor about their garden instead of nodding along. These aren't chores. They're little joys that keep you sharp and present. Whether it's for a card game with friends or a story you want to tell the grandkids without stumbling. You don't have to let those memory slips take over. Tony didn't. And look how far it took him. Start with one of these boosters and see how it feels. I'd love to know what works for you. Drop a comment and tell me your favorite song to sing, or if a quiet break helped you find your keys. We're all figuring this out together, and it's pretty great to have company on the way. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. It helps more folks find these ideas. And hit subscribe so you don't miss out on keeping your brain buzzing. You've got so much left to remember and enjoy, so let's keep that sharpness going. Here's to a mind as strong as Tony's. At any age, see you next time.